one is, you probably see me doing a little bit of work on the table saw. I've got a magnet here. It's more of a welder's magnet, you know. So it's a resting place here for one of the push sticks. I use a couple of push sticks. This one is mainly the feed through. If I'm taking any narrow cuts, I've just got a block of wood here. You can see there's probably taken a fair bit of chunk out of there. Just raise the blade above the workpiece marginally and feed it through. But this one here is like my feather board. I keep a little bit of pressure prior to the workpiece engaging the blade, and I just do the feed and keep the pressure on it as we go. So these things are pretty cheap. They're about $10 in Australia, around about that mark. It's magnetic, can't go wrong. It's not obtrusive. Have it just below your surface. Drop that in. Bob's your own. The push block I use for cutting thinner strips, veneers. It's looking a bit war-torn. It's got a cleat on it so you can push easily. Found this handle. Attached the cleat with a few screws. And it fits perfectly here into this top of the fence. Personally, I'd probably cut down strips to about 3mm or 1/64 of an inch. That's about as fine as I'd ever need to cut any strips. This is a cheap and easy way to make edge band, which will cover up plywood and melamine. If you're working on the chop saw, a lot of guys have got absolutely brilliant setups of miter saw stations, and you know they're one of the things I probably aspire to make one day. But so for the time being, I tend to use one of these. This is just an offcut, bit of scrap. It's from a hardware store, you know, it's pretty square all round. Pretty square all round, that makes sense. But yeah, so one of the tips I was going to suggest is for making cuts that are, you know, a little bit closer to the blade, where you've got to make those shortcuts, geez, full of it today. Smaller cuts, this is just a good little thing to encroach onto that. So just put the clamp that way, you know. Once you've marked out your cut, it's simple as just button up to that, and continuous cuts will be as accurate as they can be. But if you're coming up to this blade, and for argument's sake, you have the blade in about a position, in about that position, it's getting a bit dangerous, you know, to sort of, well, this block's too high, it's going to interfere here. We'll just stay back a bit and throw our clamp on here. Another thing, you can use the scale on the fence to make incremental adjustments. I tend to find I basically mark most of my things out and take some test cuts, and once I'm happy with that, then I just set up the stop block in place and go from there. Another alternative, rather than making all your cabinetry for your workshop, is to go and purchase from second-hand stores. I got all this lot here and a bookcase and everything for about $40 Australian, and I was really happy with that, and the money goes to good cause as well, so everyone's a winner.